The World Cup committee, refereeing committee, have brought in these chaps for experience and I suppose to engender too, one might say, interest in refereeing in those particular countries. Because one of the big problems of modern football is it's getting harder and harder to get people to referee.
The Italian national anthem, and now the national anthem of the United States, the Star Spangled Banner. So away to the right, the Italian team have a last moment together before the playing of this game. And here they come. Now the Italians bring twin brothers to the team today. There is a nice look at their team. You see number 11, Marcello Cutita, and number 1, Massimo Cutita. Twin brothers, but number 1, Massimo Cutita, is 26 kilograms bigger than his twin brother. Luigi Troiani, the fullback, a very good kicker, but it's probable that Diego Dominguez, the former Argentinian player, born in Cordoba, but his mother was Italian, so he's qualified for Italy. It's probable he will take the kicks at goal. There's the United States team. It's got a lot of players born outside the country. The two New Zealanders, Daly number 9 and Flay number 2. Mark Williams, English-born, number 13. And Ray Nelson, the Scottish-born player, number 15. Hushing down for the kick-off. Referee is Owen Doyle from Ireland. And to kick off, we've got Mark Williams, the English-born player, born not far from here at Chester in England. And the United States in the red against Italy in the blue. There's the halfback Daly, away to Michael De Jong, the South African-born player. And that's Gianni Zanon. That's a Croce there, coming up to United States territory. High to Diego Dominguez, and there's the first good long kick by Diego Dominguez. Chasing back is Eric Whittaker on the left wing side. And Whittaker takes the ball up and out, close to the corner flag. Now this is little Diego Dominguez. Back in 1988, he played for the Argentinian Universities team, which went very well indeed at the World Cup for university players. He was then picked in the Pumas to tour New Zealand in '89. But after that, he decided to make his play for Italy, the home country of his mother. And so he's here playing for the Italians today, Diego Dominguez. Giancarlo Pavetta throws. Back on the American side to Whittaker, the left winger. Now here is Walo Bakari, the right winger. And big Kevin Swords has the ball, but Owen Doyle says men in front or within the 10-metre circle. So there's the oldest man in the Rugby World Cup. When I say oldest, he's equal with Paul Rendell of England, who hasn't yet played in this tournament. They're born on exactly the same day in 1954, both 37 years of age. The American's showing good speed. Mark Williams, the centre, gets his kick away. Troyani, and that could have deflected to touch. Yes.
Yes, it did.
I think it deflected to touch, didn't it? Yes. Wasn't it charged down? He's trying to explain that to the referee. Is Troyani.
Interesting, Mark Williams. He was a very talented young man in the UK here and played a lot for Middlesex. He had a tremendous amount of skill and got badly hurt and left for a year. And I think he might have gone over on a sporting scholarship to the US. But a talented young man. Very good for what they call a fly half here.
Thrown in by Flay, number 2. That's the halfway line. The Italian halfback is Ivan Francescato. And there is Francescato. A high kick and a good one too. Waiting for it is Swords. And now out to Mark Williams. His kick is charged down. And that's a good run by Fabio Gataniello. And the try is scored by Stefano Barba. A shock try to the Italians scored by their inside centre, Stefano Barba, after Mark Williams' kick was charged down. Here's the last stages of it. The pass from the charge down freed up Stefano Barba, and he dashed in by the posts. So there he is, Stefano Barba. He plays his rugby at home in the Italian champion team, Milano, with the David Campese of Australia, and he's in for the early try. Time gone is just a little over 3 minutes.
Mark Williams looked as if he was going to take 5 minutes to get rid of that ball. He obviously had about 5 things going through his mind. I think he might be the man who they're relying on tactically, and he took so long to make up his mind on the tactic that it was all over. Very simple try after the charge down.
The kicker is Diego Dominguez. Italy are out to 6-0 thanks to a charge down, and Dominguez has converted Barba's try. The Italians are 6 and the American Eagles are 0.
Well, at this stage, one would say that the Italians are playing with more, controlled football. The Americans are trying to run the ball right from inside their 25, and it's could prove suicidal at present.
Here's Mark Williams to kick out. He's the man who had his kick charged down, and the Italians sprung away to score with Paolo Vaccari, Gaetaniello and Barba, and finally Stefano Barba scored the try. There is offside play by Massimo Cutita. And there is referee with Barry Daly, the New Zealander. And it looks like a shot at goal's been called for, and Mark Williams has called himself or called up to take the shot at goal. Well, a bit stingy on the sand there, Earl. There's not much sand, not enough, I think, for Mark Williams to make his little, as they described it the other day when Grant Fox was kicking, his little mud pie. So he's called for some more. Look, that's a pathetic little bucket, isn't it? What a lovely scene. The ground is jam-packed with people. The official capacity is listed as 7,000. They've certainly got that. And here's a chance for the Americans, after 6 minutes of play, to close the gap. Mark Williams is their kicker. Well, he didn't hit that at all well, did he? And it's touchdown for a 22 dropout. No change, 6 minutes gone. Well, that was bad positioning by the Americans. The kick by Dominguez went straight over the top of the big lock forward, Bill Levacy, and into touch.
Yes, no one covered up the holes at all.
Pavetta throws. Oh, lovely jump by number 5, but was he helped? Giambattista Croci.
He's up there for 5 minutes.
The Americans have got it back. Daly, tough little halfback. First 5-8. Michael de Jong. Up they go for the jump. And that was Cecchinato, number 8. One of Ireland's top referees, Owen Doyle. There's Tony Flay, the hooker, the Rotorua-born player from New Zealand. Number 6 is Brian Vizard. And number 7 for the Italian team is Gianni Zanon. The captains are both flankers on the near side here in this scrum. 6 against 7. Vizard and Zanon. The referee is actually speaking to them in French, and I think that's probably a little easier for them to understand than his Irish accent. Daly, de Jong, lovely pass, Williams. Higgins lost it. This is de Jong. Daly, the Americans looked good at the start of that movement. Now they seem to be going backwards.
One thing that's noticeable, the Italians are big chaps. There's certainly not midgets, there's some thick-set lads in there.
The Italian front row, Franco Properzi-Curti is on the far side. Near us is Massimo Cutita. That's the twin brother of Marcello Cutita, who we haven't seen yet. They're flying left winger. Daly finds de Jong running wide. Kevin Higgins, number 12. Daly again. De Jong trying to find Ray Nelson. Mark Williams out to Eric Whittaker, the left winger. A lively young player, gets his speed up. The Italians must make those spot tackles, the ones we call the first tackle. Francescato. Ray Nelson lets it bounce. And the Glasgow-born fullback Ray Nelson takes it across the touchline.
Well, there's a grand little run. There was plenty of play there. Great little run by Francescato. But that wing three-quarter for the States looked as if he'd done a jink and jive too. The Whittaker, he was really all over the place. Loved the little run. Reminiscent almost of Batty. He's not very large either.
Giancarlo Pavetta. De Jong off the right foot. Good kick, but it's straight to Vaccardi. This is Troiani right across the field. That's Marcello Cutita down in the foreground. Very fast winger. Gary Hines giving it back to Nelson, the fullback. Well, Ray Nelson was a very promising track and field athlete in Scotland. He won the Scottish 400 metres championship, and then he took a scholarship to the United States, and he's never been back. He's now playing for the United States, a 30-year-old, still a very fine athlete, appearing in the Rugby World Cup. Raymond Nelson, the fullback.
Yes, you can see he's got a lot of pace and gas, because whenever he goes to Hong Kong, he regularly goes to Hong Kong for America and shows a lot of pace in sevens.
Francescato got bowled over that time. Be interesting to see Ivan Francescato get up. You'll recognize him with the sort of the Beatle haircut. Here he comes. There he is. Now, this is from a remarkable sporting family, the Francescatos, from up in Treviso, up in the north. 4 brothers have represented Italy, and that's got to be some kind of a world record. Some of them, Reno and Nello, were among the some of Italy's finest players. Good kick by de Jong. Troiani behind his 22. Luigi Troiani.
It was a good kick by Troiani, pushing it forward. The Italians are quite happy to play down in the opposition half.
Daly, De Jong, Williams. Again, they're having problems there. Number 7 for the Americans is Rob Farley. He's the fast man. Out to Dominguez, a charge down. Williams, Higgins, trying to get it free to Whittaker, the left winger. They're throwing the ball out. Now out to Marcello Cutita. He's a lovely runner, this man. Caught that time by Hine. Here's the man that scored the try. Oh, and they hit him hard that time. And Mark Williams is penalised for a bodies check on Stefano Barber, who's scored the only try so far. That was a stern check on Barber right on halfway. Luigi Troiani kicked it too far, and his opposite number, Nelson, kicks it out. Ray Nelson.
Becoming a very common ploy, though, now to kick it down, parallel the touchline, get the opposition to put it out, and of course, therefore, it's your throw in. And they still made 25 yards for the Italians. I think he deliberately did it.
Big jump by Giambattista Croci. Referee had a good look for that one, but although it looks like it's assisted, it was a big jump. And with the ball now is Pivetta. Number 9 is Francescato. Marcello Cutita is 11. And the rolling ball put in by the Italians. The Italians are coached by a Frenchman, Bertrand Foucault. Number 8 hands it to Francescato Dominguez. Francescato. They lacked the number 7 there, didn't they? And now they're in a bit of trouble. Croci's lost it. Now the Americans rush away with Bill Levacy. 2 knock-ons.
Yes, they're too desperate to get it away, Keith. They've got to actually set it. They're firing it back at people all the time that are in a worse position themselves, as the Americans were advancing, who were hitting them backwards. They've got to set it at those sort of situations, give them time to regroup.
Daly. His number 8 is Tony Ridnell.
Ridnell's not bound there either. Theoretically, the scrum half Francescato from Italy could come round and kick that ball away from between that number 8's feet, because he's not bound at all. Look where he's got his hands. He's just lying on the bum of the lock.
Daly away to Dijon. Gives it a healthy thump. Troiani. Well taken by Ridnell near the touchline. Francescato. Croci, halfway line. Francescato. Dominguez. Lovely kick by Dominguez. Looking every inch in the Hugo Porta style, of course. Born in Cordoba. And Earl Curtin will grumble because he doesn't run onto the ball, but that's Earl Curtin here. But Diego Dominguez, now a 25-year-old, and a good tactical kick up to the corner.
Yes, it was a lovely kick, because he just pushed it through to the corner. He knew exactly what he was doing, came back inside, steadied himself, and gained all that ground. But sadly, they've lost the penalty here now to the US.
The Italians have had a win also in the Rugby World Cup last time out in New Zealand. They beat Argentina. But this year they toured out to Namibia. Sorry, they beat Fiji. And they toured out to Namibia this year, lost both the test matches. Dominguez. Number 8 forward is Cecchinato. Pressure play by the Americans have got them bustled all over the place. That's Gaetaniello, number 13, who's down.
Yes, they're playing basketball there. they get slightly lost at maul time, don't they? They don't quite smother it clear. They don't go forward. They roll sideways.
Cecchinato off to Francescato. Running through down on that side is Vakari. And Nelson takes it out. There's Ivan Francescato. He's a 24-year-old. He's much younger than the other three brothers who played for Italy. They were playing back in the 1970s. But a lovely story about Ivan Francescato. As a 29-year-old, he got his first cap, and he cried his eyes out in the dressing room before going out to play for his country on his test debut a year ago. Francescato now with the ball. Long one to Dominguez with the drop kick. It's across the face of the goalpost. 6-0, Italy lead thanks to an early try by Stefano Bava. And there's the Americans replying with a bit of their own initiative. Troiani. Farley. And that seemed to come off the chest of Rob Farley. And the Belgian touch judge there has given the Americans the throw. Well, these ears here belong, some of the best ears I've seen in rugby for a long time. These ones belong to the man on the foreground, Tony Flay. Well, he pitched it down his own side. And referee didn't see that. He saw a gap. They were jumping.
It's a lack of a gap.
Yeah.
And they refused to move away. The Italians did. But Flay lost the ball when he threw it in. You could see it.
Mike de Jong, the fly half, the first 5-8, the big long kick. Troiani. Troiani's tried the long one as well. Daly. Nice run by Daly. That's Levacy, number 5, Bill Levacy. We hear some lovely things through the microphone, and you see the little grin on Owen Doyle's face, a lovely Irish accent. He said to Chris Lippert there, "Don't dare." And do you understand me? The prop just looked away, so he said, "Look me in the eye and tell me you understand me." And the American prop said, "I understand you clearly, sir." Look at that, Higgins nearly put through the gap nicely by Dijon, but well caught. The tackler was Roberto Saetti. And here's Croci holding things up now, Giambattista Croci.
Yes, Rignall never slowed down, the number 8 for the US then. When he went to pick that up, that was well positioned, and he was running onto it, but he was going on too fast. He had to steady himself, pick it up, and then flip somebody else on the burst. Now, they're messing up a few of the fundamentals, but then you expect that. We're probably too harsh and too critical on not making mistakes.
Francescato. Dominguez. Again, that kick off his left boot. Nelson's claimed it well. Waiting at halfway. Oh, a bit of naughty work by Saetti, Roberto Saetti. And the Italians have got the penalty. He stood right in front of the catcher and blocked the Americans coming through.
He sure did.
And there's the Dominguez who gets a free shot, kicking with the right boot down to what appears to be his favourite corner of the field. Diego Dominguez, it's his 5th cap, in fact, another player who plays for the champion Milano club, along with David Campisi.
For a slight man, he really gets some distance, doesn't he? He times it well.
The man standing to the left is Brian Vizard. Here's Tony Flay. You're watching rugby action from Otley, aren't they enjoying it? The Americans and Italian supporters dotted among the other rugby supporters here at Otley in the north of England. The Americans put in the big rumble. Number 3 for Italy there is Proposicurti. Daly. And they're burying Daly, but number 2 is offside. Giancarlo Pavetta. Here he is, the grand old man of Italian rugby. He was first capped for his country in 1979. Now, I'm just wondering if anyone's been playing international rugby at the 1991 World Cup for longer than that. This is his 13th season in the Italian colours, and he's carved up 44 caps. Number 3 is Franco Proposicurti. And there's a little injury break here after 22 minutes in the first half. The injured player is Fred Pioli, who's the grand old man of American rugby. In fact, along with Paul Rendell, as I mentioned, the grand old man of this Rugby World Cup at 37 years of age. Earl Curtin, your thoughts so far in the game? The quality of the rugby we're seeing?
Well, they seem intent on moving the ball, both sides, and they are trying to run it round, but they're not actually getting the passes to hand, and they're not slowing down to pick up rough ball. And as I said before, the Italians seem to be pushing the ball back to players in what you'd call a worse position than themselves. They're not setting the ball like you would see the All Blacks do. They would never throw back to somebody to allow the opposition to keep the drive on. They would set it up and then clear it from the ruck or the maul that actually formed.
This is Barry Daly, who's also receiving attention. Barry Daly from the little New Zealand town of Sanson, and Earl Curtin and I are from New Zealand. Sanson, and to me, Earl, is just a little left turn on the road, isn't it? Not much at Sanson. But boy, oh boy, he really enjoys his rugby, does Barry Daly. Plays for the San Jose Seahawks. Lifting, well, they got him that time. Croce is penalised for lifting. Daly with the ball. About 47 metres out. Mark Williams is coming across. His previous attempt at goal looked like it came up well short. Mike de Jong going for position. Kevin Swords there behind Chris Lippert at the American, front of the American line out. Pavetta. Good jump. Roberto Favaro. Clearance by Troiani. Troiani was the top goal kicker for the Italians last year and helped them very much in their qualifying play for the Rugby World Cup when 4 teams went to the north of Italy and 2 had to qualify, and the Italians won that group, beating Romania in the final. Troiani kicked well, but he's not doing the place kicking today. Dominguez has come in since then as the fly half and goal kicker. Going to the back. Around goes Chris Lippert, the big prop forward. De Jong, Williams. Gary Hine getting in the game for the first time. And he's a nippy customer, is Eric Whittaker, but the whistle's gone.
Very boyish, too, in the face, isn't he? And he's playing like that. Plenty of enthusiasm.
Franciscato Troiani.
Yes, he punts well. He does time the ball well. It was a good call by Doyle then when the scrum was collapsing and the halfback was coming around needling, the US halfback. He was saying, for goodness sake, he says, get out of there and let him play it.
So at the back of the line out for the Italians, Roberto Saetti is running off the back. You see Captain Gianni Zanon, number 7, is not the open side. Number 8 is Carlo Cecchinato. And number 7 for the Americans to the left at the back is Rob Farley. Big jump there by Bill Levesey. That's Zanon. Out into the backs to Stefano Barber. The referee's gone back. Good battle there between Mark Williams and Stefano Barber. Williams was penalised for a body check about 10 minutes ago. Then he hooked him around the head there, but the referee had also blown the whistle beforehand. But however, Barber scored the try. Italy are leading by 6-0. A try after 3 minutes, and the time gone now 36 minutes. First half, 26 minutes first half.
the Italians had the superior scrum to start, but they're sort of losing their way slightly at present and allowing the Americans to come off the back.
Hooked by Tony Flay. Daly. De Jong running it. Williams up the side of his boot. Well, Mark Williams, he's English born, as I say, educated in Chester, and he was a very good player for the Wasps club here in London, and actually was part of a Wasps team that won the Middlesex Sevens back about 85. And then he's been across the United States since then, has a lot of injury problems, but is still at 30 years of age a youthful member of the US Eagles. Good jump there by Kutita. Kutita, number 11, is through on Dominguez's kick. Up goes Tony Ridnell.
There's a tremendous amount of yapping going on, as you can imagine, between the Yanks and the Italians.
Rugby World Cup 1991. We hope wherever you're watching this, in North America, down in South Africa, in the Pacific, New Zealand, we hope that you're enjoying this coverage. Also watching in Japan. Francescato, that might cost him 10 metres. If he takes the ball away like that, that's a bit naughty. Propersi Kurti is penalised there by referee Owen Doyle from Ireland. Well, so far the weather has smiled kindly on the Rugby World Cup. It's a lovely day in Otley. Michael de Jong is 8th cap today. He's actually from a place called Howick near Durban, South Africa. Whittaker. Oh, nice kick ahead by Whittaker. Troyani. Oh, Whittaker got taken out. Right ridden. American, here's a penalty for going in over the top. Zanon is penalised, and this one is just outside the 22. A handy position. The Americans will have a shot from here for sure. 29 minutes have gone in the first half. Let's look at that again. Big jump by Brian Vizard into Kevin Swords, who's the record holder for caps for the Americans. Today is his 27th, and he drove in there. Referee Doyle on the spot, saw the Italian player go tumbling over the top, and a chance now for the American Eagles to put their first points on the board.
Yes, it was a fair cop. Zanon wouldn't let the ball be played. He had those knees up, stopping the ball coming back. And after the tackle, according to law, you must allow the player on the deck to be able to free the ball or to play it.
Mark Williams. He badly missed his first attempt at goal. The Americans will really want this one as half-time approaches. 10 minutes till the break. So the Eagles are on the board. 30 minutes gone. Penalty goal to Mark Williams. Big support for the Americans in the crowd, but the Italian team here still lead by 6-3. Diego Dominguez restarts. Mike de Jong, as I say, he's been living in the States for about 10 years. but he wanted me to say hello to his father in Howick, which is about an hour's drive from Durban in Natal. Pavetta throws. .22 metres line there. Francescato. Back to Dominguez as the drop kick on. He hits it well. My word, it was close. Diego Dominguez. No change to the score. His team still leading 6-3.
Francescato was burrowing in there like a wee rabbit, getting in to grab that ball out. Well, there was prepared to let the man go in and pull it out. Many would reset that scrum.
3 players were in front. Dear me, that's bad discipline by the American Eagles. 3 men in front of the kick. You must be behind the kicker at kickoffs at halfway and at the 22. A good chance here for the Italians. Now,
money on another drop kick.
Yeah, well, that's right. How many lira are you prepared to put on it, El?
Well, you can back in thousands. It gives you a lot of confidence. Yep, here we go.
Charge down. Loose ball. Taken by De Jong. Intercepted by Gaetaniello. And in a flash, he kicked out on the full. Fabio Gaetaniello. There he is. 33-year-old, a veteran of the Rugby World Cup in '87. And he kicked to touch on the full. Down to Daly. Finds De Jong, running it up. Kevin Higgins. Players going over the top. That time the player penalised is Roberto Fabaro. Paposi Kurti gets up in the end.
I think the crowd here are picking their favourites. I think the US of A are going to be the lads for the day.
De Jong.
That's the best kick he's put in all day. He's obviously been a bit nervous.
.34 minutes gone. Pavetta to throw. Rob Farley down at the back. The 27-year-old having his 13th international in a row. Big jump taken by Brian Bizzard, the captain. Here come the American Eagles, led on by Kevin Swords, their tough lock forward. What a great run by him and great work at the murky depths of that maul. De Jong. It wasn't a good pass from Daly, not one he could use. And away come the Italians now. They're putting in their own good work now. Daly. De Jong. Williams. Higgins 10 metres out. Daly again. Getting a bit scrambled and confused, and the referee steps in and says, you're offside. And this is an easy one. Daly is taken. Dear me. Barry Daly took a quick tap.
And not even from the mark.
Dear me, that was a crazy thing for Barry Daly to do. Look how close the posts are. Time on the clock. The New Zealander at halfback for the Americans took the tap kick. What a crazy thing to do. He took a tap kick there and then fumbled the ball when they should have settled it down and kicked for goal and got 6-all. Earl Curtin, what would you be saying to him if you were coaching this American side?
I'd be saying something like, you stupid boy.
But in shorter, sharper, more Anglo-Saxon tones?
Well, certainly not on television, but I might have mumbled to myself something far worse than that behind the goalposts.
Well, that is where the Italian players are standing, is where the scrum will take place.
You wouldn't credit it though, would you? Points down and just before half-time, you need a psychological lift to go in evenly. And he goes and has a rush of blood. But you could only describe it as that.
Well, Fred Paoli taking a contact lens out. Looks like he's going to exist without them. Hi, Dad in Chicago. No Chicago players in the American team here, but they have a real problem with the spread of rugby across that massive landmass of the United States.
Yes, it's very expensive to gather them together for the Americans. The airfares, they say, are astronomical when you think about bringing 40 or 50 players in for a trial.
Well, the American forwards working hard here. They should really have been at 6-all. And There is the kick away by Fabio Gaetaniello.
He's the steadying influence in the Italian back line. You can hear him and see him talking to his fellow players all around him. He was also the charge down on Mark Williams' ball to score the first Italian try.
Free kick against the Americans there, but not jumping in the line. They were jumping outside the imaginary straight line that's formed down the line of touch. Dominguez.
He actually said he was outside the 5 yards. 5 yards outside the line. I don't think he was that far out.
Oh, that's a bit of an Irish exaggeration from referee Owen Doyle. He was maybe one pace wide. But now the Italians swing on to attack, and I still can't believe that Barry Daly would have taken a quick kick there. Instead of the 6-all, here are the Americans back in defence and still behind on the scoreboard.
There's one thing you notice, Keith, as you have seen right through, they're beautiful the way they throw the ball, and they use that American ball throw, and she just darts him.
Barbaro is operating at the front of the line.
And he's operating well too. He's won 3 balls in a row, the last 3 that have been thrown to him.
Offside play there. And Gianni Zanon throws the ball over, hits somebody in the head. Gianni Zanon. Diego Dominguez is going to kick for goal, and this could take Italy to 9-3. They're going to run over some sand. I do hope they've got a bigger cup to take all the way over there than they had for Mark Williams earlier. Everybody is calling out sand now.
Well, it's rather a central town with a lot of granite round. They might find it hard to have the crushed variety.
Yeah, two little cupfuls.
It's a long way to the sea.
We're at Otley in the north of England. He's got to take it across more. Just well, he didn't put the sand down there. He's got all line-out penalties, of course, taken from 15 metres in.
Yes, well, he wouldn't argue with that. Makes it marginally easier. He's a left footer, I think, so that he's going to come around on the wrong side unless he's... No?
He's a right footer. Yeah? He kicks with both feet
very well
on the field of play.
Because he doesn't worry about one or other. He just naturally whacks whatever side is best. I think he might be a right footer, Keith.
Yes, he is. Diego Dominguez puts Italy into the lead now by 9 points to 3. 39 minutes gone first half.
Again, another chap timing the ball well and making it look easy. But this ball doesn't seem to fly, as we've said many, many times on commentary. A long way. 50 yards is a long way to get this ball to fly true. Or meters, whatever you use. The Yanks would use yards.
Mark Williams kicks out.
Similar pattern again in this game as with all the others of this World Cup. These players have been waiting so long to play in this great event that I think they're a bit tight and nervy. They're making a lot of mistakes. That's been the pattern in every game we've seen since the start of the Cup.
Daly finds De Jong. The high ball from the Eagles. First by base. Troiani gets hit by Williams. But he's called the fair catch. A bit of a scuffle breaking out over to the right. Now, little Barry Daly's been a bit off his head in the last few minutes, the American halfback, and that's Pavetta. The referee's just said, parlez-vous français?
Yes, there certainly has been a lot of yap, yap, yap. And Owen Doyle's telling them there now he's had enough of the yap, yap, yap.
It had nothing to do with Barry Daly, really. He came in and started pushing people around. And the free kick now, the fair catch from behind the 22 is kicked deep. Here's Whittaker. He looks an exciting prospect. Bounces on his feet. Runs hard and kicks. Gaetaniello makes the catch. Troiani's outside the 22. They've dumped Luigi. Francescato sending it to where Whittaker was. Nelson. And Raymond Nelson has to take the ball across the touchline. And that's half-time. A good first half by Italy. They scored the only try after 3 minutes with a charge down and a pass. Stefano Barber scored, converted by Dominguez, who added a late penalty for a line-out infringement. That's the 9 points for Italy. The Americans only added a penalty by Mark Williams for Zanon going over the top. There's the half-time scoreline here at Otley in the north of England at Cross Green. Italy are 9 and the American Eagles are 3.
This is the Scott Pack Rugby World Cup 1991. Scott Pack International Moving.
Let's take this shortcut. Oh, come on. Lift. Look out! And another one ends his playing days.
What do you expect when you take all these shortcuts? Come on, Hoagie, I'll show you how the professionals do it.
Scott Pack are the removal professionals across town, around New Zealand or around the world. Scott Pack pack and deliver your valued possessions with the personal care they deserve.
Arise, Sir Richard.
No shortcuts, no ducking responsibility. Scott Pack, the one company worldwide.
Wide, please.
My son Tony would show you video of his visit from all countries.
With some video cameras, the recorded tape can't be played back through your normal VHS video recorder. The Panasonic video camera uses VHS tape, so the tape can be played back through your VHS recorder. Whichever camera you choose makes sense, doesn't it? Panasonic, a blueprint for living.
These most respected sources of business intelligence are exclusive to just one publication in New Zealand. National Business Review, the authority. You're invited to subscribe now by calling 0800 801 803.
Sony's new V-Tape packs in more picture and more sound than ever before. For a better video recording, V is the answer. Sony, the one and only.
Where Italy lead the US 9-3, just updating that second semi-final in the Aussie Indoor Tennis Champs. Edberg beat Ivanisevic 4-6, 7-6, 7-6 and 7-5 in the tiebreak. He meets Gilbert tomorrow at 4 here on Sky in the final. It's back to Otley, Earl Curtin and Keith Quinn, where Italy lead the United States 9 points to 3.
Role in the first 40 minutes, Diego Dominguez.
He was good though, Owen Doyle, I felt. He was explaining to both sides exactly what he wanted and expected.
Second half begins here in Otley, USA. The American Eagles in the red against Italy. Italy lead by 9-3. We've only seen one try, and that was in the first few minutes of the game by the man who just kicked the ball, Stefano Barber. Luigi Troiani, the fullback, is a 27-year-old. It's his 28th cap today. He's been playing for the Italians since 1985. Shortened line-out call as the second half begins. Tony Flay throws. That was Saetti, number 6. It's a shame, Earl, the game is half over, and we've hardly seen Marcello Cutita, the flying left winger for the Italians. There he is over in the background. He's a beautiful runner, isn't he?
He's a lovely runner. At Lancaster Park, when he was playing for Italy in the last World Cup, it was the best try of the whole competition.
Francescato.
Heavens, how would you like to play half-back there with a throw down on the deck in front of you? And look what's happened. They've lost the ball, the Italians.
Gaetaniello through on Williams. Oh, lovely run by the hooker. Papetta places it beautifully. Francescato with the Beetle haircut to Dominguez. Kicking wide for Vaccari. Nelson comes across. Good attack early in the second half by Italy. Here's Ray Nelson, who made the catch and dispatch close to the corner flag.
Pavetta ran well there too. He actually got his body position down low and was smacking opposition players off, the US players, and then set it beautifully, you noticed. And to pick it up, to make that charging run, he was the first man I've seen from the Italians slow down to pick the jolly thing up.
Now Pavetta makes the throw, farmed by Quacci, one of their star lineup, way into the World Cup qualifying. Well, from the qualifying into this group, it was a very difficult situation for the Italians. They played the final against Romania, and really you couldn't have blamed them for throwing the game, because to win the group they came in to play with New Zealand and England. If they'd lost, they would have played in a slightly easier group in France, where they would have felt perhaps a little more at home than here in Britain. But the Italians took out the victory by 29-21 in fine fashion. And there's a good clearance by Michael de Jong, the 28-year-old, playing his 8th cap.
I thought that was a New Zealand voice I could almost hear yelling out there with the accent, saying, hey, ref, these guys, these Italians, they're lifting. We had suspicions of that early on, but I think Favoro doesn't need much help.
There he goes up again. He's got the tap. Favoro. Francescato, a lovely run. Ivan Francescato. What a superb try this is going to be by Ivan Francescato.
Well, the Americans just left them alone. They didn't realise anyone could slip round there. It was very much like that sevens, that 2-2 one we saw last night, where they hit it to the first man jumping the line up, and back it came. And he just goes straight down the sideline. Tremendous run. Look at the gas. Lovely body swerve. Look at it. Absolutely beautiful. Then chops again. Look at that. Two beautiful swerves. Lovely try.
Ivan Francescato, the man that cried in the dressing room before his first international for his country 12 months ago. What a superb try this is. Look at the space he found down the touchline and two big side steps. Look at this. Boom, Whittaker didn't have a show. Nelson comes across. He didn't have a show either. That is a brilliant try for Francescato.
Ah, yes, that's the stuff the rugby's made of. You get a thrill, don't you, when you see something like that? And a lovely appreciation from the crowd too. They gave him a big clap, even though I think that the US team are probably favourites in most of the Otley people's hearts.
Well hit by Dominguez. It just dropped in behind the bar, and that's a good lead now for the Italians. Diego Dominguez converts. The applause rings around the ground, and Italy lead by 15 points to 3. We have a look. It was a kick that was just dropping down, and as it dropped down, it clipped the bar, went behind the crossbar. That's a goal. 15 points to 3.
Well, let's say the Americans will have to open it up now. The US of A, they'll be trying to use as much width as they possibly can. They've got to, because I don't think they can win as many lineouts as they would like. Maybe we might see the great American throws coming out and throwing it out in the middle of the field, Keith, which is always exciting.
Five minutes in the second half. Williams kicks the short one. The Italians are greatly encouraged. It's gone to Quacci, the young player, even though he's got the thinning hair on top. He's just a young guy, 2 meters tall, 6'6", 23 years of age. Troiani with Cutita out there on the left. They can't get it to Cutita. Stefano Barber is the ball player. Now Cutita has it. Swings it to Zenon. Out to Troiani. Whittaker is coming across. Eric Whittaker. Those feet are often errant, and Dominguez has done good work there. Now Favaro, who's had a very good game, the lock forward, has taken it into the depths of the maul. Francescato punches the ball high into the corner. Vakari is coming down on Whittaker. Oh, King Dominguez is nearly in there, but it just tipped off his fingers. The Americans are in trouble here. Down 15 to 3, and the Italians attacking again.
Oh, it's just a big surge. You can see the lift the Italians, being reasonably emotional people. I mean, they've got a tremendous lift for that last try. And they're all at it now. It's given them a lot of confidence, and they've lost those nerves. The Americans, as you say, gonna be struggling.
Free kick against Babetta. Some skullduggery in the depths of that scrum. De Jong's kick from the champion club of the United States, the Denver Barbarians.
Italy win. There seems to be a lot of Italian shouting in the crowd there. Perhaps they might give a reduction in this pound a night with the Chianti and the Frascati in some of the restaurants later on.
That one's tapped down by Kevin Swords, the number 4 for America. There's Swords bursting away along with Flay, the New Zealand-born player, Tony Flay, number 2. Barry Daly, high to De Jong. Troiani coming in. Luigi Troiani. Ray Nelson, halfway. Altogether too untidy under there. Nothing was happening. Referee Owen Doyle of Ireland stops it for a scrum for the Italians.
Yes, the loose forwards aren't getting to give the Americans a link with this ball. They're going down and he was far too long on the ground without anyone getting over the top of him to get the ball back quickly. And they're not freeing it fast enough from Ruckle Moore present to give their outside backs a chance.
Giancarlo Pavetta, the 34-year-old.
Troiani's impressed me today too. I think he's played very steadily. He did miss touch then, but overall he looks as if he knows what he's doing. He looks steeped in the game of rugby. He doesn't look as if he's been a recent convert, put it that way.
Well, of course, a few years ago the Barbarians club here in Britain invited Troiani to come and play for them, so he has there's a high regard for him right throughout Europe, Earl. Running time in the second half, about 9 minutes. Italy 15, USA 3. Rugby coming to you from Otley in the north of England. Daly has slipped it to Visit. Visit to Gary Hine. Visit again. Farley was involved there as well, number 7. And that's not going to help if there's going to be any fighting. Lippert went across and was having a long look at Cecchinato. Not a lovely run there by Brian Visit. Then to Gary Hine, and look at Rob Farley, number 7, join in. Visit gets in it again, number 6, near the touchline. And Ridnell, he liked his chances of getting in for the try. And I think that's the best attack the Americans have put together so far.
Yes, they didn't lose the ball. They retained it. It was a good drive down that touchline.
Pavetta throws. Up goes Favaro again, but it's not a good position where he landed. Well, they penalised Favaro there. Owen Doyle has penalised Favaro.
Unless he said that he charged or barged the line out, but that was a beautiful take. He had 2 hands on it.
Good player, Roberto Favaro from Treviso. The Americans have taken the tap. There's the throw that Earl Curtin said would happen. The big American throw. It's gone loose. Williams. Kicked away by Stefano Barber, and it goes to touch near halfway.
Oh, thank goodness, though, that lovely little bit of enterprise, even though it did bounce and they didn't pick it up. Didn't end in a score to the Italians. Otherwise, they might throw it away, not use it again in the tournament.
Well, let's hope they do. It could be a marvellous weapon. The big lateral pass, I think they call it. The big lateral.
Out to the ends.
That's right. Tony Flay to throw. Pitches it nicely to Brian Visit, who's having a good game, the American captain, number 6.
Yes, that's where they're getting most of their ball off him.
So that's the same penalty again. Everybody went down, penalised. Daly with the ball.
More discipline from Daly there. He looked at his captain to see what he wanted to do.
Well, that kick has gone out in goal from Mike de Jong. Troyani opens it up, bangs it hard with the right boot. Nelson, see how they got back behind Nelson. Gary Hine, who's played twice for Oxford University in the Oxford-Cambridge game, scored a couple of tries one year. That was the last year. Daly. Oh dear, they've lost the ball again, the Americans. That's their problem. They keep throwing it away.
Yes, they're passing sort of under pressure. They're not sort of really clearing it out or passing it quickly enough. They're all looking for the hole, then trying to pass it once they get into it because they're getting chopped down, then losing the ball. Sort of each man's having a dip, really. Don't even think about it, he said there. I think he was going to give him a whack off the side, and the referee Doyle says, don't you even think about it.
Irish impersonations from Earl Curtin in this commentary on Owen Doyle. 14 minutes gone. Barry Daly, number 9. The hook is from Tony Play. Tony Ridnell is the number 8. Daly, narrow side. Well, he's had a mixed fortune. I still can't forgive him for that tap kick under the goalpost in the first half when they were down 6-3. Knock on through the line out. So it's a blue scrum here. Some of those forwards are getting across a little bit slowly. Long way to go in the game. Francescato, who set the game alight early in the second half with a brilliant try, gets it away to Dominguez. And that's out a mile clear on the full. Diego Dominguez.
It still shows a lot of talent. You know, the way he just naturally just whacks under one foot or the other. Doesn't worry about it all. Left or right. Lovely skill.
That's another penalty against the Americans for not jumping in a line. Players are jumping from outside the imaginary line. With a chance for Dominguez to kick them up on a track.
In other words, they're ramping into the line out. And referees don't like it because it normally ends up in a bit of stoush or a bit of argy-bargy.
Today's referee is Owen Doyle. Up go the Americans. The Italians are winning the lineouts. Favaro and Croce. Zanon, the captain. Francescato, Dominguez, high ball. Cotita and Gaetaniello are through, but it wasn't a good kick. Gaetaniello. Saeti is penalised. Now, that's not the first time we've seen that from him. He got in the way of the catches.
Yes, he's going out. He's literally shepherding the player behind him. In this case, it was Gaetaniello, and not allowing the defenders to come up and take the man with the ball.
Well, this is Brian Vizard, the captain of the American team. He's from Ombak in San Diego. And you can see this is his 23rd cap today. You know, Earl, when they played against France recently, they misspelt his name in the program. Instead of being Vizard, it was Wizard.
Well, I don't think you'd mind that too much.
No, he's had a good game today. He's the American captain. But the Americans haven't really looked like scoring a try here today.
No, they just can't put enough passes together, and they don't put men into space. They're going to have to be lucky to score one, I think. And as we said before, they pass far too much under pressure.
There's the England camp here, representing those gentlemen there. Roger Utley to the left. So the English have come along to check their opponents here for later games in this round.
Yes, I don't think either side will really frighten England, though. I can't imagine it. I can't see them being organised enough, either of these two sides.
English players up in the clubhouse. Will Carling and Jeremy Guscott. England, of course, have got to beat one or the other of these teams. Or both of them. Both to get through to the second round. That's right. Well, on the evidence we've seen so far, Earl, I think they'll be able to do that.
Oh, yes, they'll win, they'll win easily.
But that's not to decry what is an entertaining game here in the Rugby World Cup between Italy in the blue, USA in the red. It's 15-3 to Italy. The American captain, Brian Vizard, is leaving the field, and that's a great sadness for him. He's got a problem with his elbow there.
Yes, he's not in great shape. He's in a lot of pain.
Charge down and into touch. Looks like Sean Lipman will come into the game. Dominguez' kick was charged down.
Franciscato passes very well with his left hand under too, which is always a hard side to pass. Those are good passes. He's getting distance and he's coming away without actually standing up too. He's firing it off the ground.
So the new man on the field is Sean Lipman. So there he is, Sean Lipman, his 7th cap today. Sean Lipman there from Santa Monica, 26 years of age. And that's a sad loss for the Americans to lose their captain, Brian Vizard. Franciscato. Dominguez. So there's Sean Lipman down at the back. 3/4 of the game has gone. 15-3, the Italians lead. 20 minutes to play in the match. Flay throws. Bit of Hollywood coming into the American team plan there. One of the players felt they'd been pushed. Suppose the Italian equivalent is the spaghetti western. Infield to Ray Nelson.
And still another lovely kick by Dominguez. Low driving it, trying to punch it into a 40-yard low driving rollover kick into touch.
Number 1 is Massimo Cutita. Away to Dominguez. He's kicking again. Through go Barber and Gaetaniello. Taken by Ridnell. Lost. This is Croce. 22 metres line, Giambattista Croce. Franciscato. Oh, they're lining up. Cutita. Dominguez. Caught by Daly. Vacari out to Zanon. Swinging wide again. And they're going to perhaps run Marcello Cutita. He gets his first run with the ball. He's a lovely runner. Lobs his pass back in. De Jong takes it 15 metres out. Mike De Jong. The Italians, have they closed this one up? And the whistle goes. Well, at last we got a bit of a treat. Marcello Cutita, just a flash of his talent there on the left wing. Here's a look at the last parts of it. Paulo Vaccaro started it, then Zanon, out through Barber and Gaetaniello to Triani. And look at Marcello Cotita. Gary Heine beat him easily, and only a despairing dive by Ray Nelson stopped it there.
He's good, isn't he? You know, with very little room to move there.
The touch judge is talking on the far side to Owen Doyle. And Massimo Cotita has been penalised for punching Kevin Swords there. Big kick. Cotita. Another big thump. Well, there he is, Marcello Cotita. He's actually born in Italy, but with his twin brother Massimo, the family went out to South Africa where they lived for a long time. But he's back in Italy.
Yes, as we were saying before, he just needs about 3 metres, and he was around Hind then, leaving him for dead. Lovely add-off.
Time is running out for the Americans, 15-3. 23 minutes gone. Again, Ridnell felt he was pushed in there. Francescato, what a lovely run with the twinkling feet. Oh, lovely take by Barber. Lost forward by Saeti. Ah, super run again by Ivan Francescato. Listen and look at the hands together for lovely footwork.
Yes, it was a good run again. They expected him to lay it off. Look, he has a look, and then just again that lovely little step, isn't it? And then accelerates away. Good pass
out to Vaccari, and he's in. A lovely try for Paulo Vaccari. They worked it to the right from the scrum. Ivan Francescato again. This is the end on view. Another sidestep. Put him into space, got him away from Whitaker, and Paulo Vaccaro, he took it down onto his knees and then stretched out and got there. Vaccari scores the try. It's 19-3. Paulo Vaccari, he's just 20 years of age, brand newcomer into the Italian team this season. He's played 3 tests. This is his 3rd test. He's got a try in every game he's played.
Well, that was good, strong running, but he was well and truly set up. I mean, it was a lovely run again. He's rapidly becoming a star, isn't he? If he could get out on that left-hand side and give this fellow Cotita a few runs, and together they'd be formidable. They'd say it, Fred.
Diego Dominguez with the conversion attempt, 19-3. What a superb kick by Dominguez, 21-3. The Italians are starting to run away from it here. Run away with it, 3 from 3 from Dominguez. In fact, by my reckoning, that's 4 successful kicks for him today, 3 conversions and a penalty.
Yes, he drew that back, didn't he?
A lovely kick from Diego Dominguez makes it 3 tries to Italy, 3 converted tries and the penalty, 21-3. Ridnell goes forward first. Lipman is number 17, the replacement for Vizard. Daly, were they back 10 metres? I don't think they were. A lovely run by Barry Daly. He pulled off his own half, sidestepped the American halfback this time. Ridnell trying to dig deep. Penalty for the American Eagles. I didn't think the Blues were back 10 metres then. I think this time they've got to take the tap. Oh no, Barry Daly, has he got an American pass? American football pass? Perhaps not. He's a New Zealander, lived there for a couple of years. Let's see what he does. It's a long ball out to Ridnell, I think it is. scrabbling for the ball. They've got another penalty. They'll probably still go for the 6-pointers. Daly, he's tapped it again. Did he take that from the mark? I'm not sure he did. A penalty, but they're coming back to the 5-metre mark for this penalty. Barry Daly in the spotlight at the moment with 3 taps from short penalties. Swing it right to big Kevin Swords, and it's try for Kevin Swords from the 3rd tap kick, and the big veteran locked forward, the highest cap player in American rugby history at 31 caps, gets the pass. He had momentum up, and look at the big fella. He took on Pavetta and Troiani and got the ball down.
Oh yes, he attacked the right side too. It was a good call there by Daly. He pushed it one way for a start, then he moved it here, looked very wide, and he put the big man against Dominguez, who's a very small chap obviously, and he just couldn't hold the bulk of this fellow, and down he went. Good try. It always seems to me so silly when they go and they fire it to a big fat forward and a great big joker to go and have a smack at more fat forwards. I mean, it's like almost the immovable mountains. To me, it's ridiculous. Far better to put a big man out wide and have him punch in on smaller fly halves or first 5/8. Let him punch there. So it was a good call by Daly.
21-9. Italy now over USA. Looking at the watch, it's 12 minutes to go. Dominguez. De Jong. Michael De Jong up towards halfway. Pavetta throws. Hit somebody on the head there. Maybe it didn't. The referee said it was a knock on. Daly. De Jong. Swing it past Higgins. Nelson's in. Oh, Whittaker had a big chance there. Vakari.
Baidanella almost had the intercept too.
Francescato. Dominguez. Left out Barber. Gaetaniello. Cotita. They got him, tipped him over when he was about to get up.
I'm impressed with Franciscato's passing. He's passing well, quickly, long, and it's flat. Its technique is quite good.
Ridnell. Daly. Lipman, that was a forward pass. Forward pass to Sean Lipman, the replacement player for Brian Vizard. Collapse. Well, the two halfbacks pushing each other in the background. Now that Barry Daly, he's a bit of a hothead, the American scrum half. He just pushed Francescato. It's Francescato's right to stand there. He's putting the ball in. Francescato cradles the ball with his hands, gets it clear to Dominguez. Another charge down. Whittaker. Now this could be interesting. Whittaker can stop on a sixpence. But it's altogether buried too tight.
Doyle's being a wee bit kinder now. He's not banging so much for the getting down or losing grip and going down onto the floor. Which is understandable when you think, because it's, you know, I mean, he's got to let it go a bit. He realises these sides don't have as much tuition or practice, or nor do they train probably as much as the top sides. Favaro there struggling to get up. He's had a very good game though. Good number 2 in the line-out. And I think even against England, a chap of his calibre will win his own ball, or get very close to it.
They rate him very highly in Italy as a line-out man. Barry Daly, who's been a central figure in the game, not always for the right reasons. The fly half, De Jong, doubling around. Nelson through. He's the man who's got the speed. Lippman, the replacement flanker. Now can the Americans turn it over? It's there for Daly. De Jong, Higgins left out, Williams, Whittaker. Nice work, flicked on again, De Jong to Mark Williams. But he's lost it, kicked ahead, but Zanon, the captain, stood there like a soccer goalkeeper, plucked it out of the sky, and then kicked it to touch. Gianni Zanon, his 44th cap for Italy today, leading the side.
He showed good hands there. He just stuck to his hands, he balanced, did a pirouette, and whacked it away.
Ticking away, 33 minutes gone, second half. The Italians leading by 21-9. That is not straight. Blue scrum. And there is an injury, I think, further out. Somebody is hobbling off in the background. Somebody is holding their head, Francescato. Must be feeling the temperature. So a lot of the Italian players are playing in T-shirts on halfway. Cecchinato is the number 8. Back to Dominguez. And that's another pinpoint accuracy kick from Diego Dominguez.
Yes, another low trajectory, like we've mentioned many times before. Very efficient kicking.
Francescato, Dominguez, it's a set move. Oh, a lovely run, Guyton Yellow, beautiful try. Fabio Guyton Yellow, the 33-year-old, the man who's been playing in the Italian team for 11 seasons. And what a lovely pass by Guyton Yellow, and a lovely pass here from Dominguez to put Guyton Yellow in.
Yes, he's holding it up. It's a lovely punch, isn't it? Reminiscent of a lot of New Zealand moves. Craig Innes's magic on that same sort of move, held up and then coming back on the cut. But what a lovely pass too, to give them that space and width so there were men up before they even moved. That's what made it easier. This beautiful pass again from Francescato. Put them outside the second time. They had men to burn out wide, and that's why it was hard to defend.
Francescato
passing.
Francescato passed to Dominguez, who passed to Guyton Yellow, who scored it. Dominguez goaled it 27-9. And that's 5 kicks out of 5 for Diego Dominguez. They're pleased to have him in the Italian team, the former Argentinian Puma player. Up goes Kevin Swords and Tony Ridnell.
He penalised him for flipping him, for tipping him in the air. It means he flipped him up and he landed down on his back. And boy, oh boy, does that knock the wind out of you. It constitutes dangerous play, and I couldn't agree more with Mr. Doyle.
There he is, Giambattista Croce from Milano. Just a young man, 24 4, I think he is. Outstanding in the Rugby World Cup qualifying last year. They just found him, apparently. Put him in the team, took a bit of a gamble, got him in. Lovely kick again. Stephen Hilditch has got his flag up. That's the two Irish refereeing representatives here, Stephen Hilditch and Owen Doyle. Just a check of the time that Hilditch is keeping. About 3 minutes to play. The game is safely there for the Italians at 27-9. Pavetta is offside.
I thought that was rather a consolation penalty. I think Doyle might have been nice to the Americans there.
Paoli takes it up. Kochi has it. Now Francescato, lovely long pass again to Dominguez. Long ball this time to Troiani. Gaetaniello. He's got Stefano Barba. Marcello Cutita. The flashing feet. Oh, only a good tackle by Kevin Higgins stopped him. He's got real gas, but they caught him. Marcello Cutita. What a shame that in this scoreline of 27-9, he's hardly had any running chances.
They're not giving him much space. So the Gaetaniello played very well there. He came back, as you noticed, to unload, to give him a bit of room to move. Not quite enough.
Loose pass. Touchdown by Gary Hine. Well, the Americans will not be very happy at all. They passed that one back behind the goal line. It's a 5-metre scrum. Now the Italians, with their back line here, they could construct a set move to make another try. They look that much more superior in the back set. Francescato. Cecchinato is the number 8 forward. The scrum has gone too far back. I think they've been overcoached. What are they doing with a back set like that? A set of backs like that going for the pushover, Earl?
Well, I think they reckon they've had enough. It's time for a forwards to pick it up. Captain will obviously be in the forwards, as he is.
Well, I would say that if they got it out to this back line of Barba, Gaetaniello, Vakari, who scored a try, Marcello Cutita, not to mention Francescato himself, they might get a try. Cecchinato is holding it under his feet again. Penalty from the scrum to Italy. Zanon is discussing the possibilities here. They want it taken back. Francescato. Oh, it's going to be a move with a lot of players with their backs to the opposition. They've got to get it organised. They've been watching their videotapes. Let's see what happens. Into the big flanker, Saeti. Another penalty for Italy. Time is ticking out. Running up to 40 minutes now. And they're going to have a shot at goal, settle it down and clinch the game, or add further points to the game. It's a wonder they don't go for the try, Earl, because tries can count to get through to the second round in certain situations.
That's what I'd be going for, and as it's not going to be tight, I wouldn't say New Zealand and England would be well and truly favourites to go through. They've really got to get into tries.
Well, they've scored tries by Barba, Francescato, Vakari and Gaetaniello. And what a marvellous try it was by Ivan Francescato. Diego Dominguez hasn't missed one yet. He's kicked superbly. Time is up on the clock. Diego Dominguez. Through it goes for 30 points to 9 and 6 kicks out of 6. The game is over. The Italians are delighted. They have emphatically turned back the American challenge by 30 to 9 here in Otley, and listen to the applause ringing round the ground. The first international ever held on this ground, and the Italians have turned it on. I think the Americans were favoured to win, and so that constitutes an upset, not a major upset, but a definite and wide margin on the scoreboard. Favoured the Italians, and they looked good all the way. There's Paolo Vakari, who scored one of the tries, swapping with Eric